Welcome to the most exciting coin discovery of your life. Today, we're diving into the mysterious and ultra-rare bicentennial coins, an ordinary-looking coin with the power to make you a millionaire overnight. If you've got this hidden gem in your pocket, your entire future could change in an instant. Let's unlock the secrets behind this legendary piece of treasure. First up, in the shadow of global conflict and national transformation, the year 1917 stands as one of the most dramatic chapters in American history. And quietly, it also gave birth to one of the most fascinating coins ever struck, the 1917 Mercury dime. As the United States entered World War I, industries surged, patriotism intensified, and everyday objects, like coins, became silent witnesses to a nation in motion. Among them, the Mercury dime, officially known as the Winged Liberty Head dime, emerged not just as currency, but as a symbol of freedom under pressure. Today, even heavily circulated examples from 1917, scratched and toned by time, can carry stories, and sometimes surprising value, that go far beyond their humble 10-cent face value. The Mercury dime series, introduced in 1916, was designed by renowned sculptor Adolf A. Weinman, whose artistic vision aimed to capture both beauty and meaning. His depiction of liberty wearing a winged cap was often mistaken for the Roman god Mercury, giving the coin its popular nickname. But this was no mythological figure, this was liberty personified, with wings symbolizing freedom of thought. On the reverse, a fasces, an ancient Roman bundle of rods, represented strength and unity, paired with an olive branch for peace. It was a powerful message, especially as the United States prepared to engage in a global war. The 1917 Mercury dime was produced at 3 mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia struck over 55 million coins, while Denver and San Francisco produced far fewer, with approximately 9.4 million and 27 million respectively. At first glance, these mintage numbers might suggest that the 1917 dime is common, and in many cases, it is. But mintage alone is only the beginning of the story. What truly determines rarity is how many coins survived over the decades, in what condition, and with what unique characteristics. Most 1917 dimes entered heavy circulation during a time when coins were used daily and rarely saved. As a result, many surviving examples today show clear signs of wear, scratches, smoothing of details, and natural toning from decades of exposure. However, within this worn population lies a hidden layer of rarity. Coins that exhibit strong strikes, minimal wear, or unusual minting errors can stand out dramatically. In fact, some circulated 1917 dimes have become highly sought after, not because they are pristine, but because they are different. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1917 Mercury dime is the presence of minting varieties and errors. These include doubled dies, where design elements appear slightly duplicated due to misalignment during the die creation process, and repunched mint marks, which occurred when mint marks were added by hand and occasionally struck more than once in slightly different positions. There are also off-center strikes, die cracks, and weakly struck coins caused by worn dies or insufficient pressure. These imperfections, once considered flaws, are now prized by collectors for their uniqueness and insight into the minting process. Understanding how these errors occur adds another layer of fascination. During the early 20th century, coin dies were created through a multi-step process involving hubs and manual adjustments. A slight shift during hubbing could result in doubled features, while the manual punching of mint marks introduced variability. Additionally, the wartime environment placed stress on mint operations, sometimes leading to overused dies and inconsistent quality. These factors combined to create a landscape where no two coins were exactly alike, and where rare varieties could emerge even from high mintage years. For collectors, the condition of a coin is paramount. A scratched and toned 1917 Mercury dime may seem ordinary at first glance, but its surface tells a story. Natural toning, often appearing as shades of gray, blue, or even gold, can enhance a coin's appeal if it developed over time without interference. On the other hand, cleaning, especially harsh or abrasive methods, can strip away original surfaces and reduce value significantly. Professional grading services play a crucial role here, offering authentication and condition assessment that helps establish trust and market value. In terms of pricing, a typical 1917 Mercury dime in fine condition might range from $5 to $15, depending on mint mark and eye appeal. In very fine to about uncirculated grades, values can rise to $20 to $75. Mint state examples, especially those with full bands, sharp horizontal lines on the faces, can command several $100s. Rare varieties or error coins, even in circulated condition, may reach into the thousands if they are well documented and visually distinct. Auction records show that exceptional examples, particularly those with strong strikes and rare die characteristics, can achieve impressive results due to intense competition among collectors. That competition is often driven by registry sets, collections ranked by grading services where collectors strive to assemble the finest known examples of each coin. In this environment, even a small upgrade in condition or the discovery of a rare variety can make a significant difference. Provenance, or the coin's ownership history, can also add prestige and value, especially if it was part of a well-known collection. These factors combine to elevate certain 1917 Mercury dimes far beyond their original purpose as everyday currency. In the end, the 1917 Mercury dime is a reminder that value in numismatics is not just about age or metal content. It's about story, rarity, and condition. Even a scratched, toned coin that passed through countless hands during a pivotal moment in history can become a treasured collectible under the right circumstances. It's a small piece of silver, yes, but also a fragment of a nation's past, shaped by artistry, worn by time, and occasionally, worth far more than anyone might expect as the decades pass. The population of surviving 1917 Mercury dimes continues to evolve, not in number, but in visibility and desirability. Coins once tucked away in old collections are gradually re-entering the market, often surprising both new and seasoned collectors. A scratched and toned example that might have been overlooked years ago can suddenly gain attention if it displays a subtle variety, an unusually bold strike, or attractive natural toning. This constant rediscovery fuels the excitement of the hobby, where even well-known dates like 1917 still hold the potential for unexpected finds. It also reinforces a key truth in numismatics. Rarity is not always obvious at first glance, it often reveals itself through careful study and experience. Ultimately, the enduring appeal of the 1917 Mercury dime lies in its balance of accessibility and mystery. It is a coin that many people can afford to own, yet few fully understand in all its complexity. Beneath its worn surfaces may lie clues to minting anomalies, historical context, and collector demand that elevate it far beyond its face value. For those willing to look closer, to study the details and appreciate the imperfections, this small silver coin becomes more than a relic. It becomes a gateway into a deeper world of history, artistry, and hidden value, where even the most ordinary-looking dime can carry extraordinary significance. Second, in the uneasy aftermath of World War I, the year 1921 unfolded as a period of economic adjustment and social change in the United States. The country faced a sharp post-war recession, unemployment rose, and industries struggled to transition from wartime production to peacetime stability. Yet even in this uncertain climate, the United States Mint continued its quiet work, producing coins that would pass through millions of hands, coins that today carry the weight of that historical moment. Among them, the 1921 Mercury dime stands apart as one of the most elusive and valuable issues of the entire series. What makes it extraordinary is not just its age or silver content, but a rare combination of low mintage, limited survival, and intense collector demand that has transformed even worn examples into highly desirable collectibles. The Mercury dime series, first introduced in 1916, was designed by sculptor Adolph A. Weinman, whose artistic influence helped redefine American coinage in the early 20th century. His design for the dime featured Liberty wearing a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought, an image often mistaken for the Roman god Mercury, giving the coin its enduring nickname. On the reverse, the fasces represents unity and strength, bound together with an olive branch symbolizing peace. By 1921, this design had already become familiar to the public, but the coins struck that year would take on a special significance due to their scarcity and the economic conditions surrounding their production. Unlike earlier years in the series, the 1921 Mercury dime was struck in unusually low numbers. The Philadelphia Mint produced just over 1.2 million coins, while the Denver Mint struck approximately 1.08 million. These figures are dramatically lower than most other years in the series, instantly placing the 1921 and 1921D among the key dates. However, mintage alone does not tell the full story. Many of these coins entered circulation immediately during a time when saving coins was uncommon, and as a result, a significant portion was worn down through daily use or eventually melted during later silver shortages. This means that the number of surviving coins, especially in higher grades, is far smaller than the original mintage might suggest. For collectors, the survival rate of the 1921 Mercury dime is one of the defining factors behind its value. Most examples found today are heavily circulated, often scratched, toned, and showing considerable wear on Liberty's hair details and the fasces bands on the reverse. Fully struck examples with sharp details are exceptionally scarce, particularly those exhibiting the coveted full bands designation, where the horizontal bands on the fasces are clearly defined. This level of strike quality is rare for 1921 issues, making such coins highly sought after and significantly more valuable. The difference between a weak strike and a fully detailed coin can mean a dramatic shift in desirability and price. Adding to the intrigue are the various minting anomalies and subtle varieties associated with the 1921 Mercury dime. While it is not widely known for dramatic doubled dies like some other series, there are minor doubled features, die cracks, and occasional repunched mint marks, especially on the Denver issues, where mint marks were still applied by hand. Off-center strikes and planchette irregularities can also be found, though they are rare. These imperfections, once dismissed as mint errors, are now appreciated as unique fingerprints of the minting process, offering collectors a chance to own something truly one of a kind, even in circulated condition. The creation of these varieties can be traced back to the minting techniques of the early 20th century. Dies were produced through a process called hubbing, where master design was impressed into a working die. If the alignment shifted even slightly during this process, it could result in doubled features. Mint marks were punched manually into dies, sometimes more than once, leading to repunched or misaligned marks. Additionally, the economic strain of the post-war period meant that dies were often used longer than ideal, increasing the likelihood of wear, cracks, and inconsistent strikes. These factors combined to create a fascinating range of outcomes within a relatively small number of coins. When it comes to value, the 1921 Mercury dime tells a compelling story. In fine condition, a typical example may range from $40 to $100, depending on eye appeal and surface quality. In very fine to about uncirculated grades, prices can climb from $150 to $600 or more. Mint state examples are where the coin truly begins to shine, often reaching several $1,000s, especially for the 1921D issue. Coins with full bands can command even higher premiums, with top-tier examples achieving five-figure results at auction. These prices are not driven by hype, but by a combination of rarity, condition, and sustained demand from serious collectors. Auction records further highlight the exceptional nature of this coin. High-grade 1921 and 1921D Mercury dimes with strong strikes and attractive toning have achieved remarkable results when they appear on the market. In some cases, coins with exceptional provenance, having once belonged to famous collections, have added an extra layer of prestige, pushing prices even higher. Registry set competition plays a major role here, as collectors compete to assemble the finest known sets of Mercury dimes. In this environment, even a slight improvement in grade or strike quality can lead to significant increases in value, creating intense bidding wars for the best examples. Surface preservation is another critical factor that separates ordinary coins from extraordinary ones. A scratched and toned 1921 dime may still hold considerable value if its surfaces are original and untouched. Natural toning, developed over decades, can enhance a coin's visual appeal with subtle hues of gray, gold, or blue. In contrast, cleaned coins often lose their original luster and are less desirable to collectors. This is why professional grading services are so important. They authenticate the coin, evaluate its condition, and help establish its place in the market with confidence and consistency. In the end, the 1921 Mercury dime is a powerful reminder that even the smallest coins can carry immense historical and financial significance. Born in a time of economic hardship, struck in limited numbers, and shaped by the imperfections of early minting technology, it has become one of the most respected key dates in American numismatics. Whether discovered in a worn, scratched condition or preserved in near-perfect detail, this humble 10-cent piece has the potential to tell a story far greater than its size suggests, a story of rarity, resilience, and the enduring fascination of hidden value as time goes on. The 1921 Mercury dime continues to gain attention not just from advanced collectors, but also from new enthusiasts entering the hobby. Its reputation as a key date creates a sense of excitement every time one surfaces, especially in circulated condition where hidden potential often lies. Many collectors actively search through old collections, estate holdings, and dealer inventories hoping to find an overlooked example with strong detail or an unusual die characteristic. Even a scratched and toned coin can suddenly become the center of attention if it reveals sharper than expected features or a subtle variety that distinguishes it from the majority. This ongoing hunt keeps the 1921 issue alive in the marketplace, constantly rediscovered and re-evaluated with fresh eyes. What ultimately makes the 1921 Mercury dime so compelling is its balance between scarcity and storytelling. It is not just a rare coin, it is a product of a specific historical moment, shaped by economic hardship, limited production, and decades of circulation. Each surviving piece, no matter how worn, carries a unique journey that connects the past to the present. For collectors, that connection is where the true value lies. Under the right circumstances, a small, silver 10-cent coin, once used in everyday transactions, can rise to become a prized collectible, admired for its rarity, studied for its details, and remembered as one of the most extraordinary issues in the entire Mercury dime series. Third in the heart of the Roaring Twenties, the year 1925 reflected a United States caught between prosperity and quiet instability. Jazz music filled the air, cities expanded rapidly, and consumer culture began to define a new American identity. Yet beneath that vibrant surface, economic imbalances were already forming, and the divide between rural and urban life was growing. It was during this dynamic period that the 1925 Mercury dime was struck, a small silver coin that would pass through countless hands, witnessing the everyday transactions of a nation in motion. Today, even a scratched and toned example from that year carries not just history, but the potential for remarkable value under the right circumstances. The Mercury dime series, introduced less than a decade earlier in 1916, was the work of the talented sculptor Adolf A. Weinman. His design replaced the more rigid barber coinage with something far more expressive and symbolic. The obverse features liberty wearing a winged cap, representing freedom of thought, a concept that resonated strongly in a rapidly modernizing society. The reverse showcases a fasces, symbolizing unity and strength, paired with an olive branch to reflect peace. By 1925, this design had become iconic, yet each year of production brought subtle differences in strike quality and preservation that would later define rarity and desirability. The 1925 Mercury dime was struck at 3 mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia produced approximately 12.3 million coins, while Denver struck around 5.1 million, and San Francisco about 1.5 million. On paper, these numbers may not seem especially low compared to earlier key dates like 1921, but mintage figures alone rarely determine a coin's true rarity. What matters far more is how many of those coins survived over time, and in what condition. The San Francisco issue, in particular, stands out not just for its lower mintage, but for its notoriously weak strikes and limited number of high-quality survivors. Survival rate is where the story of the 1925 Mercury dime becomes truly compelling. Most coins from this year were heavily circulated during a booming economy where saving coins was uncommon. As a result, many surviving examples today show significant wear, with Liberty's hair details flattened and the fasces bands on the reverse barely visible. Strongly struck coins are scarce, especially those with clearly defined horizontal bands, known as full bands. For the 1925's issue, achieving this level of detail is exceptionally rare, making such coins highly sought after and dramatically more valuable than their worn counterparts. Adding to the intrigue are the subtle varieties and minting anomalies that can be found within the 1925 Mercury dime series. While it is not famous for dramatic doubled dies, there are known examples of minor hub doubling, die cracks, and repunched mint marks, particularly on branch mint issues. Off-center strikes and planchet irregularities also appear occasionally, offering collectors a glimpse into the imperfections of early 20th century minting. These variations can transform an otherwise ordinary, circulated coin into a unique collectible with heightened interest and value. The origins of these minting errors lie in the production methods of the time. Coin dies were created through a process called hubbing, where the design was transferred onto a working die in multiple impressions. If alignment shifted even slightly, it could result in doubled features. Mint marks were punched by hand into the dies, sometimes leading to overlapping or misaligned impressions. Additionally, the pressure to maintain production during a booming economy meant that dies were often used beyond their optimal lifespan, leading to weak strikes, die cracks, and other irregularities. These factors combined to create a wide range of outcomes, even within a single year's production. For collectors, the condition of a 1925 Mercury dime plays a central role in determining its value. A scratched and toned coin may still hold strong appeal if its surfaces are original and untouched. Natural toning, which develops over decades, can add character and visual depth, often appearing in shades of grey, blue, or gold. In contrast, coins that have been cleaned or altered lose their originality and are generally less desirable. This is why professional grading has become so important. It provides authentication, assigns a condition grade, and helps establish a coin's credibility in the marketplace. In terms of market value, the 1925 Mercury dime offers a wide range depending on condition and mint mark. A Philadelphia example in fine condition might range from $5 to $20, while Denver issues can reach $20 to $60 in similar grades. The 1925S, due to its scarcity and weak strikes, often commands higher prices, with circulated examples ranging from $50 to $200 or more. In higher grades, especially mint state, values increase significantly. Coins with full bands, particularly from San Francisco, can reach into the thousands, with top-tier examples achieving impressive auction results due to their rarity and strong collector demand. Auction records and registry set competition further elevate the status of the 1925 Mercury dime. Collectors competing in registry sets aim to assemble the finest known examples, and in doing so, they drive demand for high-grade coins with exceptional detail. When a well-preserved 1925S with full bands appears at auction, it often attracts intense bidding, especially if it has a notable provenance or stands among the finest known. These factors, rarity, condition, and competition, combine to push certain coins far beyond their original value, turning them into centerpiece collectibles. In the end, the 1925 Mercury dime is a powerful example of how a small, everyday object can become something extraordinary. Shaped by the energy of the Roaring Twenties, influenced by the limitations of early minting technology, and preserved through decades of circulation, it represents far more than its 10-cent denomination. Whether scratched and toned or sharply struck and beautifully preserved, this coin holds a unique place in American numismatics, a reminder that even the most modest pieces of history can carry remarkable value when rarity, condition, and story align as the years pass. The 1925 Mercury dime continues to reveal new layers of interest, especially among collectors who specialize in overlooked or underappreciated dates. While it may not carry the same immediate recognition as the famous 1921 issues, its challenges, particularly with strike quality and the scarcity of fully detailed examples, make it a quiet contender in the world of advanced collecting. Many enthusiasts now pay closer attention to coins that once seemed ordinary, carefully studying worn surfaces for hidden strength in the design or subtle die characteristics. In this way, even a scratched and toned 1925 dime can become a discovery piece, valued not just for what it appears to be, but for what it might reveal under closer examination. Ultimately, the enduring fascination of the 1925 Mercury dime lies in its ability to bridge the gap between common history and rare opportunity. It is a coin that reflects a vibrant era, shaped by economic growth and cultural change, yet defined by the imperfections of its creation and survival. For collectors, it offers both accessibility and depth, a chance to own a tangible piece of the past while still chasing the thrill of rarity and distinction. Under the right circumstances, this small silver coin can transcend its modest origins, proving once again that in numismatics, true value often lies in the details that others overlook.